the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Exciting and historical change is coming to the Broward County HIV Health Services Planning Council. Stay tuned for a look at the future of HIV care in this critical market.
Wall Street Journal reports OpenAI reviewed flagged violent chats, chose not to alert police, banned the account, and later cooperated after the British Columbia tragedy.
Vanderbilt University Medical Center confirms it will stop adult gender-affirming surgeries, citing operational limits while continuing non-surgical care for patients.
Trump's White House praise of Nicki Minaj reignites debate over their alliance as LGBTQ+ audience question her rhetoric and stance.
Federal Appeals Court reinstates policy allowing military to reject HIV-positive applicants, prompting criticism from advocates citing discrimination and outdated medical assumptions.
All this important LGBTQ+ news and a whole lot more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company VIDQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 12 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the family rainbow.
There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Monday, February 23rd, 2026. We're live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome back to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community.
Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ+ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network. Hotspots Happening Out is a proud beneficiary of the 2026 Florida AIDS Walk, standing strong by our healthcare pillar. Funds raised are matched dollar for dollar in support of our HIV policy reform and educational programs, including our MSM conference. We invite you to donate and join us on the walk March 21st in support of Hotspots Happening Out teams.
In 2026, our magazine is celebrating 41 years of the LGBTQ+ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 14,000 LGBTQ+ television stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2026, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this very table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ+ community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table anchor Franchesca D'Amore. She is an advocate and holistic life coach. She's the founder of Trans Ed and an executive committee member of the Broward Regional HIV Planning Council. Francesca, so Trans Ed fundraiser night at Dairy Queen is happening March 12th. Tell us what's happening out.
Oh my God, we're so excited for this. Trans Ed invites the community to a very sweet fundraiser supporting the Florida AIDS Walk on March 12th at 7:30 p.m. at Dairy Queen in Wilton Manors, one of my favorite places on earth. You're going to enjoy a chill, feel-good evening while giving back to a very powerful cause. Proceeds from the night will support Trans Ed's GED certification program and annual higher education scholarships. This year we'll be awarding $25,000 to 8 deserving recipients. If you can't attend, you can still donate or join Trans Ed at the Florida AIDS Walk on March 21st in Fort Lauderdale. You can learn more at transed.org or follow us on Instagram at Transed Florida. So we're really excited about this. You know, we were talking about a friend-raiser, and I live by the Dairy Queen now, and I'm like, I love Miss Lynn. She's like so sweet there. And just this idea came, and we're like, let's do it.
Right?
Let's do a fundraiser there.
You can walk there in furry slippers from your house. That's
And
why.
I probably will.
And you probably will. Listen, there's something about Dairy Queen, right? We've all driven by it a million times, and how many times we're like, I'm gonna come in between this and get a blizzard, you know? And like, that's just common. I mean, it's a staple in our community. And you don't get much gayer than the Dairy Queen at Wilton Manor.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I know boys that hook up on the line. I know people that have met people. I know people that have broken up on the line. Like, so, you know, and so to make a fundraiser for such an incredible organization as Trans Ed is, it's so perfect together. It goes so perfect. I love it.
Yeah, we just wanted something with a low-key vibe and something fun, and everybody loves ice cream. It doesn't have to be like booze and a bar and all that stuff, and which all of that is great, but we just wanted to do something fun and different. So I think this will be our signature event.
Yeah.
What do you think, Vaughn?
I think so too. I think it'd be really fun. When Franchesca brought up the idea, it was like, oh gosh.
My diet.
My
diet.
I want to find out more about those people who have made connections in mind.
I just go there for ice cream. I mean, who knew all these other things went on there?
Listen.
And if you need booze in a bar, you can go across the street to Tropics afterwards. Dessert first, always.
Always.
And all love to Lynn. Lynn is great. She owns it. She's owned it for like more than 20 years. Love her so much. And thank you for always holding my blizzard upside down. And it never falls.
Oh, I
So you're
love
excellent.
that.
We
Lynn,
love you, Lynn.
Thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you for being the catalyst for me not taking my Manjaro shot that week and heading on over and eating all the ice cream I can for Trans Ed for sure. One last thing, Trans Ed does incredible work, and what they do, I wanted to tell our viewers about that. They help folks continue their education to get their GED, etc. Correct?
Yeah, so we work with non-binary and trans young adults 18 to 34, and we provide computers, a private tutor, books. We pay for the GED tests, and it's one subject at a time at the student's pace, whatever that means for the student, and we get them through it. And we also create communities with our trans young adults, and now we're going to piggyback with our scholarship winners. They're going to be part of a leadership program that will mentor our GED students, and will pay for their first class in community college so they can get that step if that's where they want to go after they get their GED. So we really need your support. And we really love what we do. We believe in what we do.
I can tell that beautiful passion in that face. Don't make me cry. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at the Trans Ed Fundraiser Night at Dairy Queen, baby. March 12th, mark your calendars. Let's welcome back to the table my brother from another mother. He's Von B, or you could call him Von Biggs. Yeah. He's a community engagement and outreach coordinator over at Holy Cross Health, also a vice chair of the Ryan White Part A Planning Council, and a board member of Trans Ed and Harmony Wave. So usually when I do this intro and we say Trans Ed, I usually go, hey, Franchesca, but Francesca's here, so I can just turn to the left and go, hey, Francesca. But I'm not talking about you, sorry. I'm talking about the incredible Vaughn. And
thank you.
Welcome back to the table, Vaughn.
Always a pleasure to be here with you.
I'd love
Always.
to have you at the table. Anything fun and exciting coming up for you this week?
Not this week, no. I was back in Indiana over the weekend, so back in my home state.
On purpose?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. But in the winter, my friends keep asking me to go on trips with them, and it happens to be in cold climates, and I'm tired of that.
Wow.
No, I moved from Indiana to be here, to be out of winter months.
Well, and right now that there's a blizzard from where me and Edward are from, like our family are like snowed in Jersey.
Yes.
You know?
And I got a family that's about 8 or 9 people living in the house, so I can't even imagine what that must feel like at this point. The claustrophobic.
Right? It's like the triggering of what COVID did. Oh my goodness. Right. Well, Von Biggs, thank you so much for being back at the table at Queer News Tonight. We love you.
Absolutely. Love you too.
Let's welcome my bestie, He's John Hayden. He's a journalist for 31 years, and he now focuses on the hyper-local reporting covering LGBTQ plus issues. Wilton Manors, Lauderdale by the Sea, Fort Lauderdale, and Oakland Park. We could call it Greater Wilton Manors. You can see all his reports at Greater Wilton Manors on YouTube and also on Facebook as well, as also as in the New Pelican, in Outclick, in Out South Florida, and once again here at the table at Queer News Tonight. Welcome back to the show, John.
Oh my gosh, I am so glad to be here. You know, I brought my pajamas with me because I'm getting up early to be on the FayWhat show tomorrow.
Wow.
So I'm just sleeping in the bed. You know, my hair will be a little. Oh no, never mind. But no bedhead. But I'm looking forward to it. I always love getting in bed with you, Faye.
Well, that statement. Ouch. John, you know, you are an incredible journalist. You have covered so many things over the years in your vast experience doing so. And now you've focused it down to, not down, you've focused it to our community, Greater Wilton Manors, and the surrounding cities.
Right.
How have you been welcomed by folks with your new venture?
You know, people really like it because it's getting all the stories that I do into one place. Because, you know, a gay men's chorus story may not be right for the New Pelican, and a story from Lauderdale by the Sea may not be right for Outclick. But now I can put them all in one place, and everybody can see what's happening around them as well as what's happening in their community. And being a community journalist, it's not something I ever really thought I would do in my career. But now that I am, oh my gosh, telling people stories, I love it.
What's the most pressing story you got this week?
Oh, the most pressing story we've got this week. Actually, this is a pretty easy week for us. You know, we had what were we at on Saturday? Oh, yeah, the Stonewall Gala, and
yes.
just the news that's coming out of that, how much money they were able to raise, and how the community is standing up after a year of Trump, another year of Trump, and where we took a lot of punches to the gut. The community is coming together and saying, okay, we're here for you. And I'm going to have that story in Out South Florida this coming Thursday. But that's really the most important and honestly the most inspiring story I've covered in a while.
I love that. Well, thank you, John Hayden, for being back at the table. We love you here at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table anchor Edward Otto Zielke, an accomplished brand influencer and marketing leader with a dynamic background in financial services and travel marketing. Edward currently serves as the Director of Marketing and Sponsorship for the world-famous Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida. He also serves on the Gala Chorus's Communications Committee in his spare time. Spare time, sure. All right. Edward, ABBA, Mamma Mia, here we go again. We'll be on March 22nd at Sunshine Cathedral. I cannot wait. And I think you manifested this, okay? I just want to say that. Tell me what's happening now.
I think I did. It's going to be an absolutely fabulous March. After selling out 5 weeks early, the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida celebrates the overwhelming response to ABBA, Thank You for the Music at the Parker, with a newly added command performance. ABBA, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, takes place on Sunday, March 22nd, 2026 at 7 p.m. at Sunshine Cathedral in Fort Lauderdale. The encore invites new audiences to experience the high-energy tribute featuring iconic hits like Dancing Queen and Mamma Mia and Gimme, Gimme, Gimme. Supported by the sponsors Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Can Community Health, and the Bears of South Florida. Tickets are expected to move very quickly, so you can find tickets at gmcsf.org. I also do want to mention quickly that we're having a community sing-along that's going to also be an ABBA theme. That'll be on Saturday, March 7th from 3 to 5 p.m. at Hunter's Nightclub. We're going to have DJ Richie Rich, and our host will be Phoenix Sanderson and Dora, one of our chorus drag queens that are in the
you had her at the last show.
We did,
right?
yes.
You had a couple of queens that came and were just incredible.
Yes.
And they like mixed, it was your Christmas
holiday
song.
concert,
It was your
yes.
holiday concert, but I mean, they were exceptional. I mean, they didn't get in anybody's way, and they just like blew everything up. It was so amazing.
It's going to be so wonderful just to get the community together at at that point, 2 weeks prior to the concert, just to get a preview of some of the ABBA songs and have the community sing along with us.
Yeah.
And they'll probably be singing along with us anyway over the weekend. So it's just wonderful that it's manifested like so highly favorably, and to have it sell out so quickly was just so amazing. And just to have the opportunity to do it again. And we're so thankful to Sunshine Cathedral for, opening their doors for us that weekend and had the space for us to jump in and just do another show for people that couldn't even get into it.
Well, it's ABBA, and I know a couple that's going to both.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and they're like, well, it's different energy, right? Because the people who go bring their own ABBA energy, and you get the ones that are like super dedicated and know all the words, right? And then you have the others that are like, I know this song. Oh, I knew another song. Oh, I know another song, So now that all those songs are like mixed up in your head, which one pops up more to you? Dancing Queen?
No, Mamma Mia, believe it or not.
For real?
Yeah, it always kind of spoke to me. It always felt very like chaotic and kind of fun, and and I remember my first times in the drags in the bars and seeing like that song being played on a TV with like a montage of Mommy Dearest, and I was like, oh my God, I love this song, and I just got the humor of it, and I loved ABBA anyway. So yeah, that one always kind of resonates with me.
Will you do the sex education version of Mamma Mia at the sing-along?
I don't know. Is there?
There's a sex education one?
Yeah. Gonorrhea. Here I go again. My, how did I contract you?
Wow.
Oh my.
Well, I'll make sure that we'll leave you space to sing that at the community sing-along.
100%. I want to give a big shout out to the incredible folks that you're collaborating with this on. The Bears of South Florida, who are just extraordinary folks. All of them, what they do for other organizations, right, in tow is just beautiful. Also, CAN Community Health, Al, my other bestie, everything that they've done and what he's done in that short time when he took this role. It's just been so extraordinary to see CAN up high in bright lights representing our community in such a way. And Hard Rock. I mean, Eric Eldridge is like, I love that man, like everything he touches turns to an exemplary, amazing event, So
and we have to give a shout out to the queen of all queens, Susan Renison.
Oh my God!
Incredible.
I've never wanted to be a small little white lady in my life, okay? I want to be Susan, okay? And whoever if you know Susan, tell her, okay?
Yes.
Because every time I see her, I'm like, you're a goddess. You're beautiful. From head to toe, she's always dressed exquisitely. She's always dressed in something that will only fit my arm. That's fine. I'll figure it out. I got seamstresses. I mean, but like her presence, her joy, her passion, right? She doesn't have to help our community. Yet she wants to. Like, that's just
And the best part is that she's coming to the ABBA concert. Yes, so like she's even coming to like Broward Center just to come and see it. So why not? Absolutely.
I love that. Well, Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at whichever one of the ABBA events you want to go to. Go to both, okay? ABBA Mamma Mia, here we go again on March 22nd, and also the sing-along at Hunter's Nightclub that is like our community center also. Big shout out going out to Mark Hunter, Diego, and everybody over at Hunters for everything that you do. I look forward to seeing that little ball that goes on the words, right?
Yeah.
That goes with the sing-along.
Oh.
Not those balls,
the
John.
dot ball. Watch the following dot.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor. Drum roll, please. The girl who shines brighter than a diamond, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots Happening Out. The FayWhat Show, the BINGLO Glowmance Night will be held this week on February 27th at the Pride Center's Florida AIDS Walk team. Tell me what's happening out.
Yes, girl. So love, luck, and glitter all collide at BINGLO. Glowmance edition on February 27th at the Pride Center at Equality Park. Doors will open at 6:30 p.m. Get there early because this is going to fill up and be full. Okay, the games begin promptly at 7 o'clock. No, it's not like that pageant that you go to that you starts at 8 and it starts at 9:38. No, this is going to start on time. They don't play at the Pride Center, okay?
No, they don't.
So the $20 entry fee includes 3 bingo cards, 2 beverages, light snacks, and 1 lovely good old time. This vibrant community evening blends high energy bingo with a playful romance themed glow party. And, gather your friends, meet new faces, and play for a cause. All proceeds benefit the Pride Center's Florida AIDS Walk team. Details and updates are at pridecenterflorida.org. Now, John knows this. I love bingo in every capacity. I don't care if it includes a drag queen or not. I want to be there, And so I stumbled upon the Pride Center doing their BINGLO, and they literally turn off the lights and have all glow-in-the-dark stuff. Everything is decorated in glow-in-the-dark. They play 80s and 90s music. They have a DJ there. People dress up. It's a vibe, okay? And
Wow.
It's a great time. For $20, you get to play 3 rounds, you get a cocktail, you get some snacks. I mean, it don't get no better. And so they do it like family style bingo. So you end up like meeting friends, meeting people that you've never met before, or take a group, and make it a group thing. But like, from the old ladies to the little twinks, everybody's there and everybody's represented. Everybody, some people bring their little Ewok things for good luck, right? With the hair of the trolls and all that. Like, like people.
I was going to ask if you were one of those.
I am.
Okay.
They're
She's
good
one of the
luck.
people who brings it, or if
Yes.
she's a troll?
Or,
No, not a troll,
or someone
no.
puts me on their
Yes.
desk while they're doing it. I just sit on random boys' table while they're
We
playing.
need a Faye bobblehead. We need a Faye bobblehead.
We do. But anyway, go get tickets and meet us there. It's going to be a good time.
Sounds like fun. I'm going to bring my St. Anthony statue. Let's see if that'll bring me luck. Find me the money, St. Anthony.
So close us out, Miss Franchesca.
Okay. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at BINGLO Glowmance night on February 27th.
I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Historic leadership change at Broward County HIV Health Services Planning Council. Tonight, we bring you a story about leadership that has shaped Broward County during one of the most uncertain periods for public health in the state of Florida. It's a story about the power of voice, the importance of representation, and the courage it takes to guide a community when the landscape around you is shifting. For 6 years, advocate, educator, and Queer News Tonight anchor Von Biggs has served on the Broward County HIV Health Services Planning Council. Florida is in a moment of deep transition. Funding models are changing, medication access is being restructured, programs that once supported thousands are facing new restrictions and new eligibility requirements. The Florida Department of Health is exploring approaches that may shift responsibility to local systems that are already strained. Across the state, communities are raising concerns about whether people living with HIV will continue to receive the care, stability, and medication support that have kept them healthy for decades. In this kind of climate, leadership inside the Ryan White system say that they view their role as less of a formality and more of a safeguard. Pending changes to program eligibility and coverage serve as a reminder that lives are at stake, especially when policy decisions become distant from the reality that people face in their daily lives. Advocating at the Broward County HIV Health Services Planning Council becomes a voice that asks the room to slow down, to look deeper, and to consider who might be harmed by a quick vote or a rushed assumption. This has been the way Von Biggs has led during his tenure. Now, as he steps out of his leadership seat, the Planning Council prepares for a new moment in its history. For the first time, a transgender woman will serve in this leadership role. Franchesca D'Amore, who shares this anchor desk with us on Queer News Tonight, has grown into this position through dedication, curiosity, and a genuine desire to serve her community. Her leadership marks an important change. Tonight, we speak with both about what this transition means for Broward County, for Florida as a whole, and for the future of HIV planning. And it means so much that both of you are here at the table today at Queer News Tonight. And you both are usually here. You're here a lot. So I'm going to say this real simple. This one really hits home for a lot of us. When we talk about HIV leadership in Broward, we're not talking about theory. We're talking about our friends. We're talking about our community. We're talking about our own lives, and Von has been in these rooms fighting to make sure that people weren't just numbers. And now Franchesca is stepping into that role, Baby, that's not historical. That's personal for so many of us watching right now, And in a moment where Florida is playing games, with healthcare, this kind of leadership means everything. We don't just want it. It's a necessity right now, So Von, I've watched you in this space, and I know that your heart, when you're sitting in these rooms making these decisions, who are you thinking about when you're making those decisions? You know, who are you fighting for, really? And let's be real, you know, were there any moments that you've wanted to like walk out in frustration after seeing some kind of news story come across your computer?
Oh, well, no. Well, you know, first off, you know, the tenure is ended. So, you know, we're allowed to serve two-year terms. So, and a lot of people think you know, we're all volunteers. All of us are volunteers on this. We serve on 6-7 meetings a month, and it's all during the day. It's, you know, we're taking time away from work. We're going to these things. So, to me,
your own lives.
From our own lives.
Yes.
And for me, it was about representation for people like myself, or at the time when I moved down here, my partner. I noticed that his health care was handled differently than mine. And as a young Black man, we were seeing the same doctor, and it wasn't managed the same. We had the same insurance.
Wow.
So it made me really step into I had advocacy in my background anyway, but just advocating for family, grandmothers, things like that in the hospitals. But it turned so personal here that's really what drove me to be part of that planning council and to learn everything that I could. And I feel like I've done that. And I remember meeting Franchesca. How many years has it been? 3 years? 3 years? And I walked in and was like, "Hi, who are you? Are you new?"
I was like, girl,
No.
I ain't into that.
So to see the stories, you know, you have to represent the whole community. And I am one that want to hold our providers. And when I say providers, it's the people who are getting the funding for Ryan White to take care of services for people living with HIV, that they're doing what they need to do. And they're doing it with the dignity and responsibility that they've been given. And sometimes we have to call them out for that. And it's something that we don't like to do on a planning council. We don't like to call out their names. We don't. But there's been times I've had to. And it's not something they like at all, but
Can you give us an example without naming a name?
Well, for example, we had, I'm going to use a food program, you know, and it was like people get access to food services. And I noticed the quality of food wasn't the way it was supposed to be. So the night before planning council, I happened to go by and get a sample of the food and came in the next day and just dumped it on the table in front of everyone. And that's what an advocate does. That's what me as an advocate does. I have to change the way people think. Like, is this something that you would pick up, you sitting around the table here when you go to the grocery store? No, it would not be. And they changed what they did. And at the end of the day, that's what matters.
Yeah.
I made that impact by doing that. And sometimes we have to stand up, and sometimes we have to say things that are hard. And that's whether you're looking at cutting a service or whether you're cutting, you know, realizing that these funding restrictions coming down, what can we do to get the best care? Ryan White was created to provide health insurance and medication. Luckily, we've had enough funding that we've been able to do other services. And now they want to try to still do everything, but don't reduce the federal poverty level on people just to cut them out so you can have money to give food to somebody. We need everybody to have access to medical and medication.
We just had a meeting here about ADAP, AHF was here, and there was the whole sanctuary was full of people worried. Worried about their future, and folks that had been on certain meds for decades, right? And that, you know, had tried a slew of other meds, and, you know, they didn't work like this. And now all of a sudden this was not available by or covered anymore through their insurance. People were freaking out, Vaughn, you know? I mean, and Franchesca, you're stepping into, first of all, sister, I'm so proud of you, okay? You are ridiculously talented. You are a light. Wherever you walk in, people take notice and want to be around you, want to learn from you, want to just be your friend. And you're like, I got enough friends, right?
True story.
Stepping into this role, and you know how anal Vaughn is with everything, you know, and how detailed and how crazy he can be about these kind of things, you know? Like, I mean, I'm not lying, right? That's what makes him such an incredible specimen, right? And so you're walking into these big shoes with a lot of expectations, plus a lot of fear. There's got to be fear there from everything that's going on. How does this all wash over you?
It's really, we wear the same size, so stepping into Vaughn's shoes was actually first off.
Wow.
And I love that, you know, when I was nominated, I was honored just to be nominated. And then when I was elected, I was like, I took a week to really think about it because this is a really important position, especially for the first trans woman to step into. And we have very different leadership styles. I'm a little bit more demure in my approach to things, which is my strength in a lot of different ways. But in this day and age, we have to really listen to what our clients are saying. I myself am a 29-year survivor and thriving with HIV. So I have a lot of thought and insight and lived experience to bring to the table. And I just went to school and graduated from FSU College of Law in healthcare regulations because I wanted to learn more so I could be the most effective advocate here that I can be. So now we have all these ADAP slashes that are proposed and happening. If you do want to make a change, you can actually go to flrules.org. The Department of Health is accepting public comments. So anyone at this table or anybody out there can actually go and provide a commentary so that they can hear from the public. So we are given a voice that wasn't given to us. You know, that procedure wasn't given to us.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot from Vaughn. I've learned a lot from everyone else in the room that I've been in. And, you know, when I gave my little speech to be nominated, my whole ground was I represent everyone. I represent every demographic that's affected by HIV because HIV doesn't have a face if you really look at it. There are some demographics like brown and black women. That's the highest rate of infection in South Florida. I mean, that's a lot. Globally, the highest rate of HIV/AIDS is brown and black women.
Yeah.
So we have to focus on all these different demographics. And these cuts are devastating right now to our community. And if things aren't shifted, viral rates will go up and we'll step back into the 90s again, which is really scary. And that's why all advocates, all people really need to get on board and shout and be present. And, you know, there are so many other great organizations, AHF, CAN, so many other organizations that have really rattled the cage on this. So I think it's all going to be okay at the end of the day.
I hope so.
In looking at it at the system, there were changes that needed to be made to begin with. So I see opportunity more than I see chaos. So I see a lot of opportunity for us to restructure things and step into a new era of providing the best possible holistic care. I'm a big proponent of holistic care for any client or any patient. You know that I'm a holistic life coach, Reiki, food, mental, substance abuse. All of these things are really key in getting somebody healthy and learning how to live the best life that they can, you know. And there's a big stamp put on HIV that, oh, people are like not dying of HIV, but we also have to remind people that yes, people are dying of AIDS still. 100%. And, you know, people are taking meds, but they're poison, you know. And I often say to myself, how am I still living at this age, you know? And I live my life with gusto, but I also do all the holistic things that I've needed to do to be the person I am today. So that's going to be one of my leadership things I'm going to really push at the table.
I love that. I love that. I mean, I remember we were sitting at this very table when we did a news story months ago about the global cuts. Okay. And Vaughn was here beside himself, just worried about the possibility of a new strain, the possibility of what our future could look like. You know, we sit with a lot of gentlemen that are a little older than the folks at this table that have survivor's guilt because they were around during the AIDS crisis and they lost so many friends. And you see these cuts and you see folks losing their medication and you're like, oh my God, can we go back to that? You know, like, or will we go back to that? You know, Franchesca, you're a beautiful trans woman coming into this role. What can you tell another beautiful trans person that is watching saying, hey, look, I'm being represented and look at her role. Look what she's doing. I can do it too. You know, can I do that too? What can you tell that person? So
it's so interesting. In my years of advocacies, I've gone to the forefront and I've receded. And I think just by being yourself and doing what feels organic to you as a person, you know, there's no gesture or action that's too big or too small to make a change in this world. So I say, whatever is organic to you and authentic to you, just be authentic about it, you know? Don't follow a path that you think other people want you to follow. Just do you. sometimes just showing up and being kind to somebody is the biggest form of advocacy or representation ever.
100%.
Right?
Because both of you are incredible humans and you bring that human factor in. Like healthcare makes you feel like a freaking number. You know, it's like, okay, does your insurance cover? Nope, bye, here's your out of pocket. And like, that's it. That's as much as human kindness that there usually is at these. You know, both of you lead with your hearts, you know, and with your brains, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can see that aspect. Are you planning to bring that into the role?
Absolutely. I think it's really important to also bring compassion into the formula, and as a part of the solution to ending the HIV epidemic, right? There's a lot of stigma out there. As a trans woman, I date primarily straight men, right? And it's been really interesting on my journey to have to educate these men, because I've dated a lot of men that have never dated a trans woman before, and I've had to educate them. And I've been really surprised at actually how open a lot of these men have been to the education, and then some people haven't been. But I think it's our duty to educate people and let people know, first of all, right? It just starts with you, everything. And I think like compassion is so important, and treating the person holistically that's dealing with so much stigma. I mean, even in this day and age, there's so much stigma.
Yep.
And sometimes I hear people talking about HIV and AIDS in a way that I'm like, wow, people still think that way. And we put so much education out there, and I experience it. I see it. I don't take it personally, but I know that it doesn't help propel us forward in the fight against HIV and the fight against stigma. And stigma, I think, is like one of our biggest obstacles. Self-stigma, and then stigma from society. So if you meet somebody with HIV, we're cool. Just love us.
We're cool.
Whatever.
When is your last day, Vaughn, and when do you hand over the reins to the beautiful Franchesca?
So my last official due is this Thursday, actually. So we have our yearly annual retreat that we go through, and once Lorenzo and I finish our duties as chair and vice chair, then, you know, I'm not going away, which is a good thing. You know,
you busy, honey.
I know, but you know, and I said this. I always said this. Vice chair role has a very great voice to use. I've learned to be able to use that voice as a vice chair, because the chair has, all they can do is run the meeting. We have to run a meeting as under Robert's Rules of Order, because we're under the commissioners. So we have to run a meeting just like if you would go to the courthouse and see a commissioner meeting ran. It's ran the same way.
Boring.
With Mr. Chair, you know, I move, I second. I mean, it's all done that way. And the chair, that's their responsibility, is to make sure that meeting runs exactly like that. And it's the vice chair that supports the chair, but then also gets to have a very powerful voice. Me now gets to step back and be a community member, and I actually have a louder voice because I don't sit in a seat. And that can be challenging and probably
I doubt it'll be that
scary.
challenging,
Not
because-
challenging for me, challenging for them to hear me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that, and then you know, I'm stepping into, you know, other roles. I'm doing the next 5 HIV conferences in the country where I'm speaking, you know, on national stages. So I'm taking it to the road, so to speak.
that.
Yeah.
Well, I love that. I'm proud of both of you.
Yeah.
Thank you both for sharing your news here on Queer News Tonight. And, you know, folks, this isn't just about leadership change. This is what it looks like when community takes care of community, right? You're seeing it right here.
I'm Franchesca D'Amore, and let's queer up the worldview. Wall Street Journal report: OpenAI debated alerting police before British Columbia school shooting. OpenAI reviewed and debated whether to alert Canadian police about troubling ChatGPT conversations months before an 18-year-old trans girl was identified as the suspect in a deadly school shooting in British Columbia. The discussions followed interactions flagged by OpenAI's internal monitoring systems for references to gun violence. As reported by the Wall Street Journal, the user, later identified by Canadian authorities as Jesse Van Rutselaar, was a trans person and used ChatGPT in June last year to describe violent firearm scenarios over several days. Around a dozen employees reportedly examined whether the exchanges indicated a credible threat. Some urged leaders to notify law enforcement. OpenAI ultimately decided the activity did not meet its reporting threshold, which requires a, quote, credible and imminent risk of serious physical harm to others, end quote. The account was banned. On February 10th, Van Rensselaer was found dead at the scene of a school shooting in Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia, from what police described as a self-inflicted injury. 8 people were killed and at least 25 were injured. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police named her as the suspect. OpenAI said it contacted the RCPM after the attack and is cooperating with investigators, adding, quote, "Our thoughts are with everyone affected by the Tumbler Ridge tragedy," end quote. I have mixed feelings about this. I mean, being monitored is kind of scary, but then there are some good times, good situations when being monitored can actually help the situation. I don't know if their monitoring was effective in this, because it seems like there were a lot of obvious red flags, right, that could have been followed through.
Yeah.
But, then you cross the lines of privacy, non-privacy, and it's a pretty tragic story. This is a tiny place. I think 2,400 people live in this small town. Nothing like this has ever happened before.
So sad.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, that the person was, a trans woman in this scenario. But what do y'all think about it?
I kind of read the story and I'm thinking, why do they have to report that OpenAI is monitoring? Because in a way, that's a safeguard, right? And I'm thinking, don't report on what they're doing as far as reporting to government officials, because this could have been used. If people, now that this is out in the media, everybody knows, oh, OpenAI will follow me and maybe recommend. It changes the landscape of maybe how people could use it that could cause harm in the future.
Yeah.
It kind of brings awareness in the wrong way, I think.
I think if somebody would have typed anything in this chat about the government, it would have been flagged immediately. There would have been no questions. Okay, this was months and months ago. This could have been stopped, right?
Right.
That's a system fail, 100%. Saying maybe we should have is a little too late for those 8 people that are now not with us anymore. Maybe something could have been done. Maybe she could have been found beforehand. Maybe we could have gotten her some mental health care.
Right.
All these maybes that we'll never know. There was a dog that was lost, and I guess somebody's Ring camera had found them, and that's also taking all that information and sending it to Big Brother. We're being monitored everywhere. We really are. It's just a matter of how much you're willing to give up. John?
I agree with you, but we're going to be behind the 8 ball on this, and we're going to be there's going to be a lag for a very long time, because information literally travels around the world in the time it took me to say that sentence. So we're not able to put the safeguards on, like when we only had, a printing press that still took, months to send something just to the next town. Then there was radio, and then there was television, but it all was very controlled, and it was never really in real time as far as the way it could spread, right? But we're past that, and we are going to, someone's going to be able to post and do something crazy before we can ever even get a handle on it. So I don't know what the answer is, but I know that things like this are going to continue. OpenAI should have done something, but in the end, this is really a symptom of a large systemic problem.
I think we just jumped into this OpenAI way too fast. I really do. I don't think we did, like you said, have the safeguards around tools like this, because, it just kind of like all of a sudden appeared in everybody the last few years, and everybody's utilizing it and putting in information, and you're not realizing maybe you're putting in too much or personal information and stuff. And I understand the other side too of using it, for a resource, and maybe that we do need to put some safety monitors around it too. But, it's just, it should have been thought out, I would think.
Too far gone at this point.
Yeah,
Edward,
it really is too far gone. But
I'm Von Biggs, and let's queer up health. Vanderbilt ends adult gender-affirming surgeries, citing operational limits and coverage gaps. Vanderbilt University Medical Center will cease providing gender-affirming surgeries for adults after years of offering the care. Following days of speculation, patients received messages on Friday through VUMC's health portal confirming the change. Previously scheduled surgeries will proceed, but no new surgeries or consultations are being scheduled. Information shared with Nashville Scene also indicates the departure of at least one plastic surgeon associated with the procedures. VUMC, legally separated from Vanderbilt University since 2016, suspended gender-affirming surgeries for minors in 2022 after a state ban. In 2023, the health system provided a list of transgender patients' records to Tennessee Attorney General Jonathan Scimetti. Last year, VUMC reduced its specialized LGBTQ health clinic. In a written statement, the VUMC spokesperson said, quote, "Due to operational limitations and lack of surgical coverage, Vanderbilt Health will cease providing gender-affirming plastic surgeries for adults," end quote, adding that non-surgical gender-affirming care will continue for patients 19 and older. Gender-affirming surgery remains legal for adults in Tennessee. However, a bill restricting TennCare coverage has been advanced in the House. Okay, we've had some of these conversations, and I know that there's a lot of discussions about the surgeries, and I have to say, if they're not providing, if the doctor is not on staff qualified to do surgeries, why would you go there? I mean, they are providing gender-affirming care. Yeah. It's the surgeries, and those tend to be issues. We've seen it already in Florida. We've seen it in other states that we've done that. I mean, some of the places here in Florida that used to do surgeries no longer do them. We see that that's happening across the country, and these physicians are they're being feared of being prosecuted.
Of course, they don't want to lose their licenses or their livelihood.
Right. So it's like, to me, it's like the care. Yes, they're all still continuing to do that. But the surgeries, yeah, it's going to be more and more challenging, I think, for people to go through transgender surgery.
And people confuse both of those so much in our community and in storytelling and in news reporting, right? Understand that no one's getting a sex change at 12, okay? This is not what's happening. This is what these people want you to think is happening, but it's not, okay? By the book is 19 years old. It's a lot of therapy. There's a lot of counseling. There's a lot of things that come along with that. But, according to the Trevor Project and many folks that are way smarter than me, gender-affirming care saves children, okay? It literally saves their lives. It makes them not want to kill themselves, and that right there makes it more important than anything, But Vanderbilt stopping these adult gender-affirming surgeries, it's heartbreaking for those folks that have already gone through this cycle and they're awaiting to get this, this surgery done. But it's not shocking in the world that we're in 2026, Legal. But operational limits basically sounds political from my seat, from all our seats, and this is what these folks are having to deal with.
And I think it's interesting, they've been attaching the word plastic before the surgeries more than before. So people are like thinking, oh, it's plastic surgery, it's elective. But when you're trans, it's not something that you would
great point
elect to do. It's something you have to do. It's life-saving. It's necessary. It's not like, oh, I'm just gonna get my boobs done or whatever, just to look better. It's
called gender-affirming. It is affirming who you are.
Yeah. Exactly.
The most there's so much disturbing in this story. The most disturbing line for me. And I don't know the story behind this particular bill. I'm just taking it for what it was in your story. The government gave out patient info. What?
HIPAA what?
The university turned over patient information to the government. That scares the hell out of me on multiple levels. As a journalist, as an American, as a human being.
As a patient.
That scares me. The Trump administration a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago, was finding universities for not turning over lists of Jewish students so that they could protect Jewish students from anti-Semitism. We have been down this road before. This is scary as hell. That is the part of the story that just worries me to no end.
You're absolutely right.
I am John Hayden, and let's queer up the USA view. Trump's Black History Month speech raises eyebrows with Nicki Minaj beautiful skin remark. During a White House reception marking Black History Month, President Donald Trump made comments about rapper Nicki Minaj that quickly drew attention. Recalling Minaj's recent visit, Trump said, "Do we love Nicki Minaj? She was here a couple of weeks ago. Her skin, beautiful, so beautiful. I said, Nicki, so beautiful. Her nails, they're like that long," he said, indicating the length with his tiny little hands. Minaj had appeared at the Trump Accounts Summit in January, where she said, "I am probably the president's #1 fan. That's not going to change. And the hate, or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me more to support him more. It's going to motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him. And you know, the smear campaigns, it's not going to work. He has a lot of force behind him, and God is protecting him. Amen! End quote. Minaj, previously viewed as an anti-LGBT, or as an LGBTQ plus ally, has recently faced criticism for her anti-LGBTQ plus hateful posts and comments, including remarks aimed at journalist Don Lemon. The recent remarks made by Trump have brought this new and honestly bizarre alliance into the picture again. First off, keep Don Lemon's name out your mouth. He is doing more for this country and is being prosecuted because he is so much of everything that the Trump administration hates. He's black, he's gay, he's a journalist, and they bust down his door at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning for doing his job, for covering a story. So he is a hero. He is an American hero. Nicki Minaj, you need just get your ass out the country. You are a terrible person. And I got 2 words for you. Cardi B. We don't need you no more because we got Cardi B.
You know, I keep thinking about Nicki Minaj on Drag Race, right? And I keep on giving her like a little bit where I'm like, Nicki, blink twice if they're holding your dog hostage. Like, let us know, because it's so freaking bizarre. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I'll take Cardi B any day. You're absolutely right, boo. But it's very odd. You know what I mean? Like, it's just very bizarre. And it's cringy when Donald Trump talks about her skin and her nails. It makes me, you know, like they tell you as a young girl, they tell you not to sit on that uncle's lap. Like that. It makes me feel like that. It's gross. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and I mean, in what world do we have Donald Trump having any kind of commentary about Black History Month? Like,
Right.
Wasn't he just not wanting to celebrate these history months? I mean, isn't that what we were talking about, you know, a few months ago with him and stuff? And we're trying to abolish all of that. So there's so much contradictory back and forth with all of this. It's completely wild how, like, our government and the people that are interacting with them and people, you know, flipping sides, you know, it's just completely bizarre.
It's even on the White House page, it says President Trump celebrates Black History Month, advancing opportunities and prosperity for every American.
she's not an American.
No, I'm talking about Don Lemon, but he comes after Don Lemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So
we're
I have-
Americans and
Yeah.
I have a different point of view from one of my kids. You know, I'm mother to many, and they're like a Barb. They love Nicki Minaj to this day, and they're more concerned. So there is a demographic that is actually concerned about her.
like
she's-
blink twice if you.
she's having a total mental health crisis, like breakdown right in front of us. And there's so many, many things that are contributing to it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, okay, I'm sorry, and I am all about I'm sorry, Edward. Just
No, go ahead.
I am pro mental health. I understand that a lot of us suffer from it. A lot of us never get the treatment we need. But you don't get to have a breakdown or hide behind your mental health by tearing me down or tearing my community down. So no, you don't get to hide behind that. And I respect what you're saying, but that is not an excuse to throw an entire community under the bus.
I will pass that on to my child.
Please.
I can quote you and give you the blame.
Edwin, what were you going to say before?
No, I was just going to echo exactly what you were just saying. You know, it's just, it's so bizarre to see that, you know, we have this, you know, this once valuable LGBTQ plus icon, you know, with us that has just completely, you know, changed her whole perception and her worldview. And it could possibly be, you know, she's in fear. But that, yes, you're right. It should not, you know, you would think that our community and most of the world would have stood up to something like this if, God forbid, they did, you know, ask her to leave the country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, what is it that's so, the fear? It's just, I also think about that too.
I don't know. I mean,
It's hard.
Nicki Minaj, go to Gwen Stefani's bunker and go hide out.
Yeah.
All right?
I'm Edward Otto Zielke, and let's queer up the USA view. U.S. Appeals Court reinstates policy allowing military to bar HIV-positive recruits nationwide ruling. A U.S. federal appeals court has ruled that people living with HIV can be barred from joining the military, overturning a lower court decision that had blocked the policy. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit reinstated the Department of Defense policy in a unanimous ruling issued Wednesday, February 18th. The policy permits the rejection of HIV-positive applicants regardless of transmission risk. A U.S. District Court has previously halted the rule in August of 2024. In its judgment, the three-judge panel said the military had a rational basis for maintaining its medical records. The judge wrote, quote, "In this case, the military has articulated its need to have fit service members who can fulfill its military mission without complication from medical conditions that could compromise deployment functions, contribute to conflicts with foreign nations during deployment, and add costs over generally necessary to maintain fit service members," end quote. Medical experts note that modern antiretroviral therapy, or ART, allows people with HIV to live long, healthy lives and nearly eliminates transmission risk. Lambda Legal, which filed the lawsuit in 2022 on behalf of the three plaintiffs criticizing the ruling. Senior counsel Gregory Nevins said he was deeply disappointed, adding that the decision upholds discrimination over medical reality. Well, this contradicts decades of medical progress, and it contributes to the stigma against people living with HIV. You know, it's insane. I mean, Vaughn, this is your topic.
Here we go.
Let 'em loose, Bob.
Are we ready for this? Well, one, the military already deploys people with chronic conditions that require daily medications like hyperthyroidism, hypertension, and stable mental health conditions. So long as they're stable, they don't need frequent monitoring. Yet people living with HIV whose treatment today is just as stable are still barred. That's the gap advocates say exposes discrimination, not medical reasoning.
Well, and it's completely wrong, but what is HIV/AIDS code for? Gay. It's you know, it was known as a gay disease, and
They call it gay cancer
and
back
in
in the
those
day.
and in those circles, in the upper military, in the Christian nationalist churches, and a lot of just regular street churches, HIV equals gay. And the amount of work that Republicans go to, the hoops they're willing to jump through to discriminate, to openly discriminate. We pass laws like we get rid of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and then they go out and find ways to still discriminate. I mean, it's breathtaking in the amount of effort they put in to hate.
It's outdated. It's outrageous. It's disgusting. It's going against science. Science is telling you, right, one thing and you're going the opposite, right? You know, what also gets me is the fact that gay people want to fight for this country. It blows my mind, you know, that they still want to go and they will lose their lives for this country that doesn't even want to acknowledge them as a gay person or someone living with HIV. Like, it's crazy to me. It's just crazy. But his story makes me feel like we went back to the 80s, you know, and I hate feeling that. And I feel that often lately with some stories.
And we have to think about like the American Disabilities Act, HIPAA
Yeah.
laws. What about those? You know, it's too much conflict there, you know, so
Wow.
I'm not joining the army anytime soon.
Well, I mean, okay, and
I would
this
like
guy,
the option to,
and this guy
if
wants
I
to,
wanted to, right?
well, yeah. But I mean, this, you know, the guy at the White House deploys people everywhere. Every time he has a fight with somebody, he deploys people. I don't want my siblings in that.
And you know, he's not looking at ICE, you know, and all those people, you know, for their medical histories and things like that. They don't even have any type of like.
They don't even get a psychological checkup or anything.
But give him a
getting
gun.
that job.
Yeah, exactly.
LGBTQ 1 minute news. Let's queer up gay culture. Hotspots magazine highlights LGBTQ plus sports boom in South Florida. Our Hotspots Happening Out LGBTQ lifestyle magazine Hotspots is back with a feature on the rise of gay and queer sports leagues across South Florida. from flag football and softball to tennis, pickleball, and multi-sport social leagues. These organizations are creating safe, inclusive spaces for athletes of all skill levels. Beyond competition, the leagues foster connection, wellness, and community through games, events, and pride collaborations. The story explores why LGBTQ plus sports matter and how newcomers can get involved. This feature story and many more are included in your free copy of the upcoming issue of Hotspots magazine on stands this Thursday, February 26th. You know, when people newly move down here to South Florida and they're like, you know, it's hard to meet people, I don't know what to do, blah, 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 I'm lonely, I say volunteer for a nonprofit, right? And join a sports league. Because in both of those places, you're going to meet so many incredible people. And guess what? You don't even have to be good at sports, okay? A la me. Like, you know, Julio Capo Jr. is one of the anchors at this table often, and he's incredible. And he's part of a softball league, right? And yes, I'm a lesbian, but I can't play softball. I don't want to hear it. But like, I'm like, hey, can I just go and carry the balls, right? And he's like, well, we prefer the boy to carry the balls, but it's fine. You can carry the balls too. So my point is, however little or big that you want to be, you can find a sports league that is ready to welcome you in, and you'll have a great time, get some exercise in the process, and who knows, you might find your boo.
Yeah.
Is Glow Bingo a sport? It
I'm
should be,
saying yes,
right?
it should be.
Yeah.
Yes.
It should
You have
be.
chess? Why not, right?
I'm waiting for the gay curling league to happen.
Oh.
Just saying.
Is that like curling? Like you get a curling iron
USA
and you
curling team was hot.
Is it curling like this? What's curling?
Curling, it's on ice, and you throw the stone, which is 40 pounds of granite, and you throw it down. It's too much to explain.
And they're
but
sweeping them
It's so...
And they're sweeping behind it that
No,
way?
in front of it.
Ahead
Oh,
of it to direct it, yeah.
to direct the
Toilet
stone.
It's great.
cleaner / broom that they're
I have-
moving this. It's
Every
really
4
weird.
years, I get
I
17
think it's
days
weird.
of curling at the Olympics, and I could use another 17 more.
Yes.
Well,
You know, out South Florida has a great sports editor, Clinton E., who always keeps us up to date on when Rainbow Sports League and other local leagues around here start. So that's a great place to go as well. I am never allowed to play in the dodgeball league because I'm not good at it, because it's just not natural for me to dodge balls coming right at my face.
wow. Well, and they sometimes mistake your head for the ball, and then that gets kind of messy. So anyway, pick up your copy of the new Hotspots this Thursday on newsstands. You will love it.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up drag culture. Drag Race Down Under fan favorite Maxi Shield dies at 51 after 5-month cancer battle. Drag performer Maxi Shield, known to international audiences from Drag Race Down Under, has died 5 months after a cancer diagnosis. She was 51. Born Christopher Elliott, Shield became a fan favorite during the show's first season in 2021, finishing in 6th place. She really was awesome. Tributes poured in across social media. Dillian Shaw of Sydney's LGBTQ plus nightclub Universal said the community was, quote, shocked and deeply saddened, end quote. Maxi Shield was a veteran of Australia's drag scene, performing nationwide. She appeared at the closing ceremony of the 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney and helped open the Gay Games in 2002. May you rest in power, Maxi Shield.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up lesbian and queer culture. Tell Me Lies star Kat Missel comes out as gay as Hulu series ends after season 3 finale. Kat Missel, known for playing Bree in Hulu's Tell Me Lies, has publicly confirmed that she is gay. Speaking to Teen Vogue following the show's 3rd season conclusion, the 26-year-old actress said, quote, well, I am gay, so thank God, end quote, while seated beside her partner, Jess Pennington, who replied, quote, you're safe with me, end quote. Missel, who uses she, they pronouns, shared that the couple lived together in California. The pair first met at a drag show in West Hollywood. Tell Me Lies recently aired its finale, ending a 3-season run. 3 seasons, it's over. Great for her. Have a great day. Yeah, good run. Yeah, 3 seasons.
And congratulations to her on coming out. You know, what I love about this story, Vaughn, and kids, is that she spoke to Teen Vogue. You know, so the possibility that another teen kid might see this and go, okay, you know, she's on TV, right? And she's on this show, and she's part of the same community I am. How dope is that? You know,
It's so wonderful to see a young artist like this just stand in their truth, because it will allow other young artists, you know, even younger, to just come out and be their truth. So it's such a different world than it was like 25, 30 years ago, you know, when we were having pioneers like Ellen just coming out.
right now we don't even like her. You see how things change.
Right.
Poor Ellen.
Sorry, Ellen. Sorry, it was okay to mistreat your whole entire staff. It's
my
fine.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up the world view. Netherlands welcomes gay Prime Minister Rob Jetten. Fiancé Nicholas Keenan praises new era of hope. The Netherlands has sworn in Rob Jetten as Prime Minister, marking a milestone moment for LGBTQ plus representation. The 38-year-old centrist leads a coalition formed after snap elections followed the collapse of Dick Schoof's government. Jetten's rise drew attention for both his campaign and visibility as an openly gay leader. His fiancé, hockey player Nicholas Keenan, told Pink News, Dutch people are ready for a new energy. People are really looking forward to his cycle as a prime minister. And let me just say, baby, you could colonize my Low Countries anytime.
So giving me heated rivalry feels,
I was
right?
just going to say the same thing. I'm like, wow, it's inspiring, you know, a lot of people to come out, this whole story around hockey and stuff. You know, we're just hearing so much about it in sports and stuff. So yeah, this is
What a love
wonderful.
story. What a
yeah,
beautiful
and
love
just to have a
story.
couple like this inspiring us, you know, as leaders in a country, it's just so wonderful. Great representation.
They could be like the gay Kennedys. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we could just look to them. I mean, and they're gorgeous. I mean, look at them. I mean, I never wanted to be a suit on a gay boy in my life until seeing this picture, you know?
And I love that it, quote, normalizes same-sex couples. You know, they're like the ultimate power couple, right? So I think that's great visibility, right?
It is, but it's in another country, so I'm waiting to see what tariffs are going to happen for the Dutch.
I could take 15% of his tariffs if you know.
Oh,
I'm not
Lord.
going there.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Beautiful Evening, Beautiful Day screens February 26th at Paradigm Cinemas Gateway, Fort Lauderdale. Beautiful Evening, Beautiful Day will screen on Thursday, February 26th at 7:30 p.m. at Paradigm Cinemas, Gateway, Fort Lauderdale. Directed by Ivana Yuka, the film previously held its Southeast premiere at the Outshine Fall Edition 2025. Set in 1957 Yugoslavia, the historical drama follows four gay former partisan fighters turned celebrated filmmakers whose work collides with communist regime censorship. A party loyalist assigned to monitor them disrupts loyalties and friendships. Lushly shot and politically resonant, the film explores love, loyalty, and creative freedom. It was selected as Croatia's official submission for the 2025 Academy Award for Best International Feature. Well, I have to go on and look at the trailer for this, and it was absolutely wonderful. Franchesca and I were just talking before about the cinematography and stuff, and all of the wonderful artistry that goes into this. So it's so great that we have like a nonprofit like Outshine Film Festival that brings this type of storytelling to us, because it's these type of stories like resonating like what we're going through now in the country. It's just wild.
And in black and white.
Yes.
It jumps off at the, you know, from the screen right there. So big shout out going out to Outshine, Dino, Mark Gilbert, all those folks over there. They already saw all their submissions, you know, and we get to see the fruit of their labor, you know. I love that they always bring us movies from places I'll never go, you know, and just like to be able to see how other LGBTQ folks live and you know, and their struggles with their loves, etc., blah, blah, blah. And so this is wonderful.
You have to get to Croatia. I went there a few summers ago.
I gotta remember that you did.
was-
Yes.
Actually, my favorite place.
Wow.
Yeah, next to Capri. It's beautiful. So I'm sure it's going to be beautiful, you know,
Yeah.
in the movie. All those sweeping scenes. And there's a scene where one guy was floating. And I was like, wow, I did that. So you can do that in the Adriatic Sea. So yeah, you float because of the saline concentration. That was kind of cool. I was like, I did that. Anyway.
Yeah, it looked really beautiful,
was
even when
beautiful.
translated onto the film.
These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight, and our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these type of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your lead anchor, FayWhat, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight, including the beautiful Miss Franchesca D'Amore, Von Biggs, John Hayden, and Edward Otto Zielke. We'll see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you a good night.
Good night.